Hi, I'm Angela Jeffries of Blue Crow Inspirations for Clairporium, and I would like to show you how to work with a very useful tool called a pendulum. First of all, let's talk about what a pendulum actually is. A pendulum is a little tool made out of a natural material, usually crystal, but it also could be made of wood or metal. Now, what can a pendulum be used for? Well, a pendulum has many different uses. The most common one that we hear about is to answer questions. But you can also be used to help you to find lost objects, and you can also use it to help you buy things that are appropriate for your body, like, as in choosing food that might be healthy for you or different kinds of supplements. In fact, the uses of a pendulum are only limited by your own imagination. So if a pendulum can do all that, well, how does it work? Well, a pendulum is a tool that actually creates a connection between you and your higher self and also your spirit guides, and in fact all of the divine realm. So your spirit guides, your guardian angels, pretty much any spirit body that you would like to work with. And what it does is it connects with those energies and gives you a visual indication as to what an answer could be. Before I show you how to work with your pendulum, I'd like to take just a moment or two to explain how to find the pendulum that is right for you. Most often when we decide to go and find a pendulum, we look at the assortment that's available and we choose the one that is the prettiest or the one that jumps out at us. However, with pendulums, it doesn't always work that way. We need to find the one that resonates with our energy the best. So let me show you how to do that. To test drive a pendulum, first choose one that you'd like to work with. Hold the chain with your dominant hand, which is the hand that you write with, holding it between your thumb and your forefinger. Hold the pendulum over top of your non-dominant hand, the hand that you don't write with, and make sure that the pendulum point is roughly 1 inch above your palm. Now, make sure that the chain length is roughly 6 inches long. So if your pendulum has a very long chain, then just simply wrap it around your forefinger once or twice to get to the desired length. Once you've got the position set, allow the pendulum to sit in your energy field for a moment or two so it can tune into your energy. And then very slowly it'll begin to move in a circular motion. You'll notice that the movements get larger and larger. The circle gets broader and broader. This is a very good sign that this pendulum resonates with your energy. The larger the circles, the more attuned it is to you. And this is what you want to see. This is a sign that this pendulum will work for you very well. If you don't get these large circles, or if it just quivers over top of your hand, then this is a sign that this pendulum is not meant for you. Now you have found the pendulum that you would like to work with. So the first thing you need to do is to establish a connection with the pendulum. Now remember, a pendulum is a link between you and your spirit guides and your higher self. So you always want to treat the pendulum with respect. Therefore, always use please and thank you. Now you need to know what represents a yes answer and what represents a no answer. Every pendulum is different. There is no one way for a yes and no one way for a no. It could be different for each person and different for each pendulum that you own. So let's begin with establishing a yes answer. So pendulum, please show me a yes answer. And immediately it begins to move in a clockwise circle. Once I'm very clear on what the answer is, then I finish off by saying thank you, and then the pendulum will come to a stop all on its own. Now let's establish a no answer. Pendulum, please show me a no. And now the pendulum is swinging left to right, back and forth, very strong and very clear. Thank you, pendulum. And again, it comes to a stop all on its own. Now, sometimes the answer that you need to receive is not going to be yes or no. It could be a maybe or not at this time. So we need to establish that. Pendulum, please show me a maybe or not at this time. So the pendulum is now moving from away from me and towards me, back and forth, but towards me and away from me. Thank you, pendulum. So I now have three very clear indications of what is yes, what is no, and maybe or not at this time. Thank you. I suggest that you mark these down so that each time you use this pendulum, you'll always remember what your indication movements are. Now that you know how to find the perfect pendulum for you and how to establish a connection with it, I need to talk to you about one last thing. Remember that a pendulum is an energy tool. It connects with your aura as well as the energy of your guides and your higher self. Thus, it will pick up other energies around you as well while you're working with it. So you'll want to clear out the energy, give it a good smudging every once in a while, especially if you haven't used it for a while, just like you would your crystals or any other spiritual tool. One final word about pendulums. Pendulums don't do every single job. You'll find that as you begin to work with them, you'll see that one pendulum is great for chakra balancing, but is not very helpful when answering questions. So as you get to know your pendulum, also ask what it wants to do for you. Is it for healing? Is it for answering questions? Or is it to go shopping to find out which are the best foods for your body? As you work with them, you'll gain all this understanding and end up with a wonderful toolkit to help you with all your needs through life. Thank you for joining me, and I truly hope that this video has given you some good information to help you find the right pendulum for you and how to use it successfully. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at bluecrowinspirations@gmail.com. Thank you, and see you next time.